What's good, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the Muscle Hustler Podcast. I'm your girl, Cokes. Listen, make sure to subscribe. Look, you got me all stuttering because I'm nervous right now, but it's good. Make sure to subscribe at the Muscle Hustle Podcast on YouTube and across all social media platforms. Listen, I'm on all audio. We talking Spotify, iHeart, Castbox, you name it, I'm on it. I'm just going to cut right down to the chase because I don't want to take up too much more of his time. We got Kevin Crown in the building, yo. Like, seriously, Club Energy God himself. Kevin, what's good, man?
What's up, man? How are you doing?
I'm good. First of all, I want to take time to tell you that I appreciate you for taking your time to come in.
Problem.
Bless me with your presence, you know what I mean?
No problem.
Like, I know how busy you are. It's Miami Carnival, the ending of the extravaganza, you know what I'm saying? I know you're still going ham. But yeah, thank you.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
No problem.
How you been?
I've been pretty amazing, man. It's pretty good. You
always have this good energy around you. Like I think anytime anybody really asks you, like, how are you? It's always good, but it comes across like it ain't fake. Like, you're not just saying I'm good just to be good. You know what I'm saying? You're saying you're good and it's actually like genuine.
I mean, life is a circle. You know what I mean? And it's never always good. You know what I mean? But when it's bad, you still gotta appreciate the bad times, because if it was always good, if it was always amazing, then it would just be normal. You know what I mean? It's like when you're sick. When you're sick, when you can't breathe, you know what I mean? When you get over that sickness and you could breathe again, or you could smell again, or you don't have that headache, you appreciate that so much. So, I've been through so much in my life. Like, being here is like literally I wake up living a dream every single day. So even if I'm not having a good day, it's not a bad life. It's an amazing life. You know what I mean?
I feel that.
It's I'm very, very blessed, and I feel that.
And you exude it too. You exude it too. So that's what's up.
That.
I want you to know that basically this podcast, for those that are new subscribers, this podcast is really just a platform to be able to showcase true talents, also be able to showcase the hustle and grind behind these talents as well too. This ain't no facade stuff. You're not just reading off the book. Nobody just telling you some kumbaya stuff. Like, just keep going, you guys. You're getting it directly from the source himself. You know what I'm saying? If you inspired by him, you're going to hear exactly from him how he got on and how he's able to continue to push through any trials and tribulations that he goes through. And already you can tell it's all through positive vibes. You know what I mean? So once again, thank you. I mean, let's go ahead and just jump into it. Like, I know you're from Brooklyn.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Born and raised?
Born and raised in Brooklyn. Whole family's from Grenada. My sister's from Grenada. She's 2 years older than me. Shout out to my whole family. Shout out to my sister. When my mother got pregnant with me, they actually decided to make the move to New York City to give me a head start.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, shout out to my parents for saying, you know what, we're going to bring the baby to America.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm born in America.
How many siblings do you have?
I have 3 sisters.
3 sisters. Okay, so you're the only boy?
Only boy.
Wow.
Holding it down.
And how is that to be raised with 3 other girls?
It's pretty dope. My family's huge. So I have, my cousins who were like my brothers, and my other cousins were like my sisters. So we have a huge family. So although I don't have like a little brother or little sister, I still grew up with like siblings who were close knit.
That seems to be a narrative in Brooklyn, period.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So it's like, at times it was kind of cool, because you get that alone time as a kid where your imagination, all you have is your imagination.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I was that kid who imagination just ran wild, and I would just do things, and actually it's funny, right? I came to this realization years ago. I feel like the reason why I love entertaining people so much, and I'm gonna be real, is because I like the attention.
Okay.
So as a middle child and the only boy, who wasn't, I wasn't really a problem kid. You know what I mean? I wasn't in the streets. I wasn't doing no stupidness. So, you know, I was the kid that was kind of just, I don't want to say forgotten about, but I was by myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, had a love for dancing, had a love for performing. And I noticed, you know, when you would dance, you do certain moves, all eyes on you.
You.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And then, you know, the DJing, you know, was just a love. I actually never thought it would be to this level when I started. I didn't do it to become a celebrity DJ or
Really?
No, I didn't do it for that.
So how'd you start?
I love music, and I came from the mixtape era.
Okay.
Like the cassettes.
Right.
Like $5 in the streets.
Yep.
You know what I mean? If your tape pop, rock your tape till your tape pop. You get the scotch tape.
Yep.
And you open it up and you put the scotch. I came from that era. And I used to listen to these mixtapes, and they wasn't arranged right. It'd be like 15 minutes of this tape was good, or you know, they didn't play the songs in the right order, or it was too slow. So, you know, one day I was looking at my father's record collection. I was like, yo, it's way easier for me to just make my own mix.
At what age was this?
This was like around 12.
Really?
Yeah.
So you were spot on at the age of 12 and realizing like some of these mixtapes are just basically out of order.
Yeah, like the like some of the parts was like amazing, and then some of them were like,
and then get real dry. Yeah.
Right. And the thing about it is like you know, we could get into this a little later, but you know, music right now is like an accessory. It's so accessible, it's taken for granted. You know what I mean?
Okay, I agree on that.
It's so like you could like Drake just dropped an album, right?
Right.
You could stream that album for 2 weeks and never listen to it again, because I've done that. I remember when Drake was on the reggae and the UK vibe. I forget what album that was, and I listened to the album every day.
Yeah.
For two weeks. I never streamed it.
That's it. Yeah.
That was it. And the thing about it is, you know, people don't really own their music, because if the internet went out today, you wouldn't have access to nothing. You know,
That's true.
Back in the days, we were invested. Like I said, my mixtape collection was worth money because it was $5, $10, 2 for 10. This. You invest in something, it has more value.
Yes.
Everybody had your CDs and cassette tapes. You had it stacked up. You had it racked
booklet.
up. You could see it. You listened to it. And you know, it was a part of you. It was yours. You know what I'm saying? So you know, I took pride in that. And because we listened to so much more music, you know, we knew more. Our aptitude for the music was better. And I was just like, you know what? I could make my own mix. And that's how the whole thing started.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so your first official mix was?
I don't even remember. It wasn't that good.
I was about to say, do you still have it?
Nah. I'm self-taught. So, you know, nobody pulled me and said, I'm going to teach you how to be a DJ. I literally, I don't want to say everything, you know, because when I linked up with my boys, they did, you know, you know.
They polished it a bit more, whatever.
That sounds crazy, me saying we polished each other. That don't sound good. Pause. But, you know what I mean? Right. Steel sharpens steel. I like that way better than polished each other. Let's not say polish for the rest of the time.
Done.
Polish is, you're going to take polish
out of here.
Right, but real recognizes real, steel sharpens steel. And, you know, the things that people teach, you know, we were just doing, you know, as kids, aligning yourself with like-minded people, you know what I mean? Like challenging each other to do better. This things, even branding, you know, to a certain extent. We just did it just off of instinct. And now you see people actually, you know, teach these things and get paid to do these things for people. It's just like, damn, we was doing that shit.
Okay, so let me ask you this, because you got folks that they were all in Brooklyn, right?
Yes, sir.
So we all come from the tri-state area, right? We got folks from Brooklyn as well, so I was going back and forth from Brooklyn to Newark. But for the most part, dog eat dog, you know what I'm saying? Like, you definitely see a lot of folks who are just like, all right, in a sense, crabs in the barrel. Did you ever have to, like, kind of come across that?
Man.
Or even, you know, see folks that started to see
let me tell you, that ain't just New York. New York is just the biggest barrel. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they that's all over the world, and they let me tell you, you in this music thing and a lot of other things, it's true. If you could make it in New York, you could make it anywhere because it's the wild, wild west. You know what I'm saying? And one thing I respect about old New York, you know, where I'm from, old
There's
New York.
Big difference, y'all.
Old New York, you know what I mean? You know, is that, you know, if you wasn't good, you wasn't getting put on. We didn't care who you knew. It wasn't about relationships. It was about, if you good, you're good. If you not, sit on the bench. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't a bad thing because a lot of times if you wasn't ready, you wasn't ready. But nobody doesn't know what they're not ready for. You know what I mean? So you're gonna, I want the big stage. I want this. But you don't know, you don't have the tools.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like we you know, it's not, there is a crab in a barrel mentality, but I feel like that was just like conditioning and training.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's necessary. You know what I mean? It's like sports, any kind of sports. It's conditioning and training. Rookie going thinking he got some skills or got some potential. You know, the veterans is gonna push that rookie. He gonna push him down. You know, we gonna beat him down to show him, yo, you good, but you're not ready. But if you want to do this work, we could get you there. So, you know,
almost like in a sense of hazing.
Exactly. I appreciate the school I come from, because the school is not no easy school. It's not no hurry come up school. It's a proper schooling, and I think that's why I've been in the game so long. It's because, you know, that school that school don't exist no more.
But then you were also open to learn as well too, and you took heed to what was taught.
I'm forever. Well, the thing is, you learn through experiences and mistakes.
Okay, all right.
Nobody's gonna sit you down and tell you, you know, X, Y, Z. You learn, you know, and if you're a person who can look into yourself and say, you know what, this happened because I fell short somewhere. You know, because some people ain't real like that. Something will happen and somebody they'll make an excuse. Everybody, oh, it was this person, it was this person, it was this person, it was this person. And, you know, I sometimes that can be true, but a lot of times.
And the common denominator is still you.
It's still you, because at the end of the day, nobody don't care.
Right.
You know what I mean? Especially when you're on that stage. If you don't deliver on that stage, that's on you. You know what I mean?
You're the one that's still trying to get put on. For something else.
Once you're on the stage, it's you.
Yeah.
Whatever you do. If you singing, if you DJing, if you're speaking, if you're doing poetry, you're doing a speech, for whatever time, that is you. You know what I mean? There's sabotage that can happen, but for the most part, people are smart and they can see what's going on. You know, so, I learned from my mistakes, and I also got better through opposition. Okay. You know, didn't back down.
Didn't back down. No. Listen, you can't. I mean, at this end, especially if you really want it.
I mean, a lot of cats in New York, like I said, New York is the breeding ground. A lot of cats just moved out of town. A lot of them just, I can't get put on here. Moved to another state and did great.
And did, yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? You can go to a smaller market where, they're not as good, and take over that market.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
would you say that that's strategy, or would you say that in itself is more like a? I
think they had no choice. You just get forced out. You know what I mean? You can't make it to the NBA, but you need to put food on your table. You go to the D League. You know what I mean?
I mean, it is.
Or you go play in Europe or China or somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, you get your money. And I'm not throwing the words.
Ain't no knock on that. You know what I'm
If that's your story, that's your story. Yeah. It's just I'm stubborn. You know what I mean? And I've been through it. You know, people who know, you guys know, and you know, I'm still here. And it's like I said, it's like a kind of like a Zen kind of, you know.
Is that where you feel like you're at right now, in Zen mode?
At times.
Okay.
At times, because it's life is a circle. So there's at times I feel like I'm at the Zen mode, but there's times where I feel like, yo, Kevin, you gotta go back and learn some shit.
Really?
Yeah.
So even at your prime right now, you still feel like there's still a lot to learn?
Not a lot, okay. Not a lot, but it's always something.
Something to learn.
There's always something to learn. There's always something to fine tune. There's always something to say. You know what? Let me take a step back. You know, I'm a martial artist.
We're
right.
Going to get into that as well too, because as far as discipline and also being able to be at calm and ease, that stems from martial arts as well too.
Everything. My perseverance comes from it first comes from watching my parents, you know, come from Grenada with nothing. You know what I mean? And businesses, homes, retiring, and going back to Grenada and building a house. You know, I saw my parents, my mother and my father, still together, by the way.
That's a blessing.
They worked their entire life, so I think that first drive comes from watching them. You know what I mean? But then, you know, taking martial arts. My parents couldn't afford to send me to school at a young age. So the first time I went was 14 in high school. And, you know, I did a couple months, and then I got a start, got a couple belts, and, you know, the funding got taken away.
Okay.
So I didn't get to go until I was maybe 19, where I had my own job. And I paid for my own schooling, and I went.
And you went back.
I went back.
A lot of people who started martial arts in any type of form, right? Jiu-jitsu, taekwondo, aikido, all that. Usually, most of the time, I see a lot of them, you know, in the kids, you know, about the pre-teens for the most part.
They stop.
Right. They always stop. It's always funding being taken away. That's usually the case. So they never circle back.
So a lot of people say, yeah, I did it back in the days and this and this and that. So, you know, I went back, and then, you know, around that time.
Why did you go back?
That was one of my passions.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So like martial arts, I grew up watching martial arts movies. Last Dragon is actually my favorite movie.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Favorite movie. If you watch that movie with me, I will sit here and recite it word for word. You know what I mean? And I went back, and then at the time, I'm a popular DJ, you know, a popular dancer, you know, promoting parties, you know, people, you know, I'm ghetto superstar, as they say.
And this is at 19.
Yeah, we've been popping. I've been fit from 15. I've been, you know, and it just grows because, you know, you take over your neighborhood. I was from Brownsville, so they knew me in the field, you know, and then they started knowing me in Flatbush, and Crown Heights, and then, you know, it grows. Then you take it to the boroughs, you take it to Queens, you take it to Bronx, you take it to Jersey, you take it to Connecticut, and you spread that shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like a virus. So, you know, I was local, you know, people know. They may not like you, but they know.
They know, yeah.
You know, they may not message you, but they know you. You know what I mean? Who's that? Oh, that's, you know, you're doing a good job. So, you know, they knew who I was, and I was doing so much. And at the time, I did a tournament because we were competing, and I dislocated my toe.
Really?
Yeah, because when I was competing, I was so good or whatever that I would compete in a higher bracket than my belt. Okay. So not my age group, my belt.
Yeah.
So if I was a green belt, I would compete against blue belts.
Okay.
or and such, so it's stuff like that. So I competed, and it's just like, just think about Ivan Drago from Rocky. Think about, it was like this big Russian brolic dude, and they put me against him, and I'm like, okay, I'm not afraid of people, but I'm going up against this guy, and I'm thinking I'm not. So he kicked, I'm like, bam, I'm like, all right, I'm fast, I'm doing my thing, and I forget, something happened, and I threw a kick, and homeboy said, ah.
Not to the toe.
He blocked the shit with his elbow, son. And I just felt my toe just say, yeah. I was like, oh. So I went to my master. Yeah, we got masters, you know.
If you not hit.
Yeah, we got masters. I went to Master Kang. I said, yo, Master Kang, I think my toe is broke. And Master Kang, even flinched, he said, yeah, go to the hospital. I said, shit. it wasn't, oh my God, it wasn't none of that. He said, yeah, go to the hospital. So the adrenaline's pumping, so my shit is just tight, right? So then I'm in the car. By the time the adrenaline wears off, I'm like, ah. So I get to the hospital, and they do the x-rays and be like, well, it's not broke, it's dislocated. So it got, the big toe got pushed in so much, it was smaller than all the other toes. So we said, don't move, don't do whatever. We gotta pull it back out. When I tell you, yo, I cursed that nurse out. If you still with us, I'm so sorry. But she relocated my toe. And in that time, I went to Grenada, and I took some time off because my toe was messed up, and I never went back. Well, not never. I didn't go back for like 8 years.
Okay.
I didn't go back for like 8 years. When I went back, it was, I got stabbed right here, right there. I got stabbed. I was DJing at an event that needed equipment. You know, at the time I still had my 9 to 5, but my 9 to 5 was kind of unreliable.
Okay.
So that, you know, when you be on and then you be off.
Right.
But the DJing was reliable. I DJed every week. Every single week.
Okay. It was like a residency in a sense, or just
yes, okay. Booked residency, whatever. I was booked more than my 9 to 5 was shaky. The was consistent. So I left my DJ equipment in my truck. My truck got broken into, and it's still, you know, it's by this crackhead. I still remember his name and all that, you know, and I was trying to be some fucking kind of street detective. I tracked him down, you know, and I found out where he was, and I tried to be diplomatic, you know, which was probably the reason why I got stabbed, but I don't regret it, you know, because if I had went the street way, you know, I might not be here. The story may be different, but whatever. Long story short, you know, found out who the guy was. You know, he was in an apartment, and I said, I don't want to do nothing to you. I just want my stuff back. Walking downstairs, and you know, we walking out of the building. It's a building. Two of my boys. One of my boys is outside smoking. My next boy is behind the guy. I'm in front of the guy. He's in the middle. So we get past the part where you ring the door to open, and now we in that corridor.
Okay.
So we in that tight space.
Yeah.
Smaller than this. And for whatever reason, something said turn around. That was the guardian angel, my ancestors, I don't know what it was. God said turn around. When I turned around, he's swinging at me. And I just blocked it. Boom. I blocked it like it was a punch. It wasn't a punch. When he hit, when I blocked what I thought was a punch, I got a sharp pain in my arm, and I realized he had a knife. It was the biggest kitchen knife in the set. It went in my arm. So, you know, I didn't have that type of training, but I just did what I saw in the movies, and I took my leather jacket off, and I wrapped my arm, and I went at him. I disarmed him. I ended up breaking his finger. My boy was there. You know, we actually put him in the corner. And when I was feeling good about myself, I got the dude, feeling good, whatever.
Did you get your equipment?
I never got my stuff back.
God damn it.
Never got my stuff back. You know, my family came down. You know, I was stabbed, but I was all right. But then I was like, yo, I can't move my thumb. I told the doctor I can't move my thumb. Again, very nonchalantly, oh yeah, you got nerve damage. You have surgery. Next day I had surgery. Now, I was in a cast for a month. And for whatever reason, I still have that video when they took the cast off. And when I talk about this, I used to get emotional. But they took the cast off, and I remember my arm was, it was no muscle-tone, no veins, very small, discolored, and stuck. Couldn't move it. He said, move your hand. And I couldn't move shit. And I started crying, I just felt like helpless, like my thumb. So if you know what your radial nerve does, your radial nerve is your wrist, it's your thumb movement, and opens your fingers. And I had none of that function. And the doctor said, yo, we don't know how it's gonna heal, but it has to heal from the elbow all the way back. Said, you can't drink, no smoking, that impedes the regeneration of your cells.
Yeah.
Right? When you do that. It's not something I did anyway, but now it's like, I gotta get my shit back. And it was a bad time in my life. But I felt like that was preparing me for everything to come. That's where the perseverance came in. So I was DJing with one hand. Eventually the therapist made like a glove for me to keep my wrist straight. My thumb was out of the picture, but they had rubber bands where I could open and close my hand. So I was like this, right? We took it off, I had a wrist drop. Every day I would try to move my thumb. My thumb was not messing with me. My thumb was like, nah, I'm not messing with you. And then on my birthday, I woke up and I said, don't move, that shit moved.
Say word.
Yeah, it moved a little bit. And that's when I went back to the school. I lived maybe like a mile.
Away from it?
Yeah, or less.
Same school?
Same school, but it was a different
master.
It was a different master. Shout out to Master 2. First day I met Master 2, I signed up that day. He said, you can come back tomorrow. I said, I want to start today. I started, and I kept going for 7 months, every day, 6 days a week, 3 hours a day. I got my first black belt. And the first black belt you get is actually a recommended black belt.
Okay.
That's the black belt that doesn't have any name, any stripes, and it's called recommended. 6 months later, I got my first degree black belt.
Gotcha.
Right, with my name and my first stripe, and I didn't realize it, but I was so advanced in Taekwondo. I didn't see it until obviously I started touring and I couldn't train as much, and my abilities kind of dropped. It's always I had the potential to get it back, but at that time that was my main focus, and I went on to win grand championships. I taught my daughter, who's turning 16 tomorrow. She was 4.
You started her too?
I started her at 4 years old.
Wow. I
started her at 4 years old. And she became a second degree black belt.
Say word, for real?
Yeah. That going through that experience, and eventually getting the dexterity in my fingers back and my hands back. Years after that, I went to the Scratch Academy, to learn how to scratch the right way.
Okay.
A lot of DJs, DJ, you get DJ equipment, you're gonna scratch. And you could build a habit and maybe it could sound good, but it's technically wrong.
Right.
Technically it's wrong. And I learned...
There's an art to it.
I learned an art to it, and I still have limitations in my limbs. I still have, it won't never be 100%.
So let's just go back real quick, because I want you to make sure that y'all hear this. Even through when he took his cast off, you were still getting booked and you were still moving. Yeah.
I only stopped DJing for 2 weeks.
2 weeks, y'all.
And the first gig I played was at my weekly. And I get real emotional when I say this, because my boys, they had my bag. I had to get a mic stand. I was on painkillers, and when I could play through everything. You know what I mean? And I did the radio first, and I did the radio 10 to 12. When I got off the radio, the club was like a half an hour away. I would drive down the west side, go to the club park, walked in with my boys, unsure what was gonna happen, and I did. You know, I zoned out and I did it. The promoter, you know, one of my good friends, you know, he came to me and he was like, yo, you did it. And, you know, it's like, you know, that emotional part of any movie when like somebody wins a championship after.
It's heartfelt.
It hit me. And I used to cry when I would say this. Yes, I cried, with, you know, or with stuff like that. And, you know, he said, you did it. And I was like, yo, and it was a lot of greasy shit going on. You know, it's a lot of greasy shit. And I came from the vein like, yo, I'm good, I'm gonna make it. I'm dope, I'm gonna make it. I came from that school. No. And you know, I as one hand, you know, I had a young daughter, I had my girl at the time, she's not my wife. You know, I felt weak, you know.
How'd you push past that to actually keep going though? Because like, I mean, this is a constant rotation. Like, you getting booked on a regular basis, you got residencies, you on the radio, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have obligations where you signed up for. This is your art, this is your craft, you know what I'm saying? And you technically aren't at what you would call 100% your best right now, you know what I'm saying? So fighting that mental battle to make sure that you actually show up as Mr. Kevin Crown that's getting ready to kill a scene, how was you able to get through that? Like,
I wanna share something with you. We're never at our best. We're never at our best. We're never at our best. We just, you can walk into somewhere at 80%. And it's something that will push you to your best. But nobody walks in anywhere at their best. You know, you could be 95% and then you could drop to 75%. You know what I mean?
You think for those people who usually try to strive for perfection right off the break, they're probably causing themselves a disservice?
No. I think,
get what I'm saying?
I think you should you reach for the stars, but if you don't reach for the stars, just take solace in that. If you reach for the stars, if you was in a skyscraper and you reach for the top floor, but you only made it to the third floor, you gotta understand you started at the bottom and now you're at the third floor. So you're gonna be mad because you didn't make it to the top, or you're just gonna try to make it to the fifth floor or the sixth floor. You know? You don't know, on the 10th floor, you might make it to the 75th floor. Also, you might be at the 75th floor and drop down to 50. You know what I'm saying? The world is a circle. You know what I mean? And this is not, this what we doing, this entertainment, this entrepreneurial, this thing is not promised.
It's not.
Nobody don't owe you shit.
At all.
Nobody don't owe you nothing. You know what I'm saying? Nobody don't owe you nothing. You're only as good as your worth. And your worth depends on you. So a lot of people live on the fact that, yeah, I was the man in 2008. I was the man last year, boy. Yo, you see what I did yesterday?
In 2023 right now, like.
Yo, I'll be perfectly honest with you, right? I do so much legendary shit. That's my new word, by the way. I'm gonna explain that to you. I'm gonna explain that to y'all in a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm gonna explain that to y'all in a little bit. But I do so much legendary shit, especially, you know, as of late. Like they say, content is key. I don't even post the shit because I'm so busy doing it. I actually need a team. I need a team of people to capture high definition 8K movie shit that be going on with me. Because I'm so busy doing. There's a lot of people that do to show. I'm so busy doing, I'm not showing. You know, so like if you look at my Instagram, you see little things, but yo, it's like this weekend alone, every single gig was epicness, and you see it on other people's feeds, but you won't see it on me, and it just becomes like
you should have been there.
You should have been there. It's not me manufacturing. Yo, let me try to piece these reels together to make it look like something.
But here's the thing, that's a good, not an MO, but that's an experience.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that is an experience of Kevin Crown. Like, If you know Kevin Crown Fed, you know Kevin Crown Party, you know Kevin Crown Experience, you have to be there. I get it. You see people's names on flyers and you see their content posted and stuff like that, and that's all fine and dandy. It kind of hypes you up to be able to go for the next joint. But when you are in your groove, you know your craft in and out, and you just see your name being featured on there, headliner or not, don't matter. We already know from jump. Yeah. Oh, Kevin Crown gonna be there. Oh yeah, we already know it's about to be lit.
Yeah,
it's showing up.
You know, it's a great feeling to actually get that, because you know you had that, and you know, people don't understand that. You know, when you hear something from a stranger, you know, somebody who doesn't owe you anything, you know, sometimes that means so much more than hearing it. You want to hear that from your loved ones and your significant other. You want to hear it from your parents. I wanted, you know, my parents to be proud of me for so long. You know that, you know, I actually went. That's why I did the 9 to 5 route and went to school and got a degree and became an electrician. That was to make my parents proud. That wasn't my passion.
Right.
You know, you might find some kind of enjoyment in it, but that's not what drives me.
Yeah.
But you know, it's all a part of what makes me, you know, who I am. And I don't regret. I have no regrets. I have no regret on, you know, having nerve damage in my hand and not having the mobility. You can see that. Look, you see how that locks up right there?
I see it.
Right. Yes, I don't have the same mobility.
And are you still constantly doing like post rehab or anything like that?
I just listen. I just work with what I have.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? I my left hand ain't my strong hand, but it's fast. You know what I'm saying? You know, this is I could still do what I need to do. So I can't change what happened.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know, 3 years after I got stabbed, I got damage in this hand as well. You see that right there?
I remember the post.
No,
Is it different?
This is from a long time ago.
Okay.
Right. And then this happened. His dreams. Buys what he wants to buy. You know. So I lived a lifestyle a lot of DJs wish they could live, complaining about having a bad day. You'd be like, so, you know, that's when, you know, you just kind of relax and still kind of be thankful. You know, and I went to the doctor, and it's just happened like 2-3 weeks ago. Went to the doctor. You know, I'm a people person. I'll come in, I'll just talk to somebody. You know, it's a hand surgery. You know, shout out to Dr. Patel. And there was this dude sitting there, white dude, right? Had a bandage on his hand, right? So I'm like, damn, man, what happened? He's like, yo, man, finger. I was like, yo, same finger, same hand. Winded up being the same age. Winded up, he was an electrician, just like I used to be. He said, yo, I don't want to gross you out, but I got the picture. I said, yeah, good. Showed me the picture. He was using a drill at work. And the drill spun out, snapped his finger off. Half his finger was gone. He said, they said it was a 5% chance they could save my finger. And I said, you know, I don't want the complications. Just cut it.
Okay.
So his finger's gone from like the second knuckle. Gone. And, you know, I looked at my hand, you know, I'll show you what my finger looks like. It's not that bad compared. I just keep this on for the scarring to go down. But look, see?
Yeah.
See my nail growing back and all that? But it's heat. If you saw the picture, it looks good.
It does look good.
Right. So, you know, I saw that as a sign, like, you know, you're here like fake depressed over this boo-boo, this inconvenience. Meanwhile, this guy, life has changed forever. And it was the same injury.
Same injury.
Same finger. It wasn't the same injury. And
in the field that you were actually in.
In the field that I was actually in, I could have been that. You know, because I know what he's talking about. If a drill spins out of you, spins all, you know, there's drills that could break your jaw. You know, if it spins, it could come back and hit you in the face. Actually, a drill did hit me in the face once. And I was on a ladder, but I didn't fall off. I went with, you know, because of my training, I kind of rolled with the hit.
Okay.
So when it hit, I rolled and just jumped off, you know, and landed on my feet. But, you know, that showed me that, yo, Kev, what are you doing, man? Let's go, keep going. You know, and I worked out. You know, I went to sparring class the next day just to see. Was it the next day or probably the week after? Probably the week, just to see if I could fight. You know, when I'm fighting, you know, I'm doing good, but my cardio's bad. You know, so I'm getting winded and shit. You know, and my master said, yo, he made me teach the class.
For real?
Yeah, he said teach, because I guess you listen.
He knew what he was doing.
Exactly. You know, he said teach. I'm not gonna say nah.
Yeah. So
I taught, but then he said, could we put his stuff on me? I fought him. And I had it, but I'm just, oh my God. You know, this, and then even that, I run circles around everybody. But, you know, it's, you know, you got that. I was doing that because I wasn't touring the world. Now touring the world, you know, it's just so much a human being can do, and so much. You know, when you pour yourself, and that's what I do. When I'm into something, I pour myself into it. I pour myself. You can't want to be the best and don't put your all into it. And you know, this world we live in, I think people think the world owes you anything.
They just
the world owes you too much. Oh, I'm a DJ, I should get booked. And then the narrative that, you know, I'm gonna talk to the world now.
Talk to her.
The narrative to some of you, you know, let's keep it DJs, but it could be more. The narrative, if you're not getting put on, is somebody's fighting you. Nobody is fighting you. You got to look and see what is it you're not doing and why you're not getting booked. Also, closed mouths don't get fed.
Okay, hold on. We're going to talk about DJs right now, then, right?
Right.
All right. Especially on these newbies.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm one.
Okay.
Okay. But what you just said, closed mouths don't get fed. But at the same time, don't be expecting you just got on to be getting booked left and right.
You can't. Don't. Well, here's the thing. Don't feel entitled.
Okay.
Don't feel entitled. You know, the reason why you see a lot of the same names, because we are trusted and battle tested, right? The patrons and the promoters know that if we put Kevin Crown, whoever, you know, the known guys are, you know, well, I'm in good hands. They don't know you. They haven't seen you in different scenarios to be like, this guy can stand up with the big dogs. You know what I mean? Because just because you're playing on a bill, you know what I mean? Put you on a bill with Kevin Crown, Young Child, Private Ryan, Steely Bashman, you know what I'm saying? Ricky Platinum, Noah. You know, I could name so many amazing DJs. Where are you gonna fit in? How are you gonna stand out? You know, unless you early warm. But guys ain't taking that. I don't want to early warm. Start the party off. You know what I mean? Guys don't want to do that. Guys don't want to, you know, how about, yo, Kev, I just want to shadow you, bro. You know, I just want to see the process. A couple of people have asked, couple, you know.
How you feel about that?
I mean,
asked to shadow you.
I mean, I have a family. You know, I'm not just gonna let nobody in my crib. You know, I don't know what kind of habits you have or
the energy. You
know, the energy. I don't know you. You know what I mean? For you to shadow me, I gotta bring you to my crib with my family. And if I feel weird energy, or, you know, I'm very protective of.
Yeah, as you should.
So, you know, I would love to do it, but, you know, I see a couple of young dudes that, you know, I feel like it's time to a grandmaster actually has a saying: when you're a champion, you gotta be selfish.
Okay.
When you're training for a championship, You can't worry about nobody else.
This is facts.
You cannot. It's just like when you're in an airplane and they tell you, if in the case of emergency and the mask drop down, before you put a mask on anybody else, even your child, you got to put the mask on yourself, because if you run out of air, you can't help nobody and you become a liability. Now somebody got to help you, right? So as a champion, you got to just worry about yourself, right? That's a champion. A master creates champions, right? So once you become a champion, then it's time to create champions. So I feel like I'm at my life where, at a stage in my life where, you know, I don't have nothing to prove to nobody, you know.
See, now you got that master position.
In certain aspects,
Yeah.
in certain aspects, I'm a master. In certain aspects, I'm still a student.
Okay.
But in certain aspects, I'm definitely a master, an innovator, in certain aspects of this game. Yes, absolutely, without question. And you know, it's funny because they say self-praise is no recommendation, but sometimes you gotta let people know, because people will see me and they'll be like, well, yeah, Kevin started 5 years ago. Kevin started 10 years ago. Kevin started this. You know, I've been DJing a very long time.
Very long time.
And reinvention, perseverance, being a student of the game, but definitely holding myself accountable to things I can work on or expound on has brought me to the stage. But now it's just like, yeah, it's time to, spread it out. You know what I mean? And I think it's time now that I'm right here. I'm at the top to do that, because you gotta think about it. Jay-Z made Rockefeller when he was Jay-Z. Mm-hmm. He can't do the rock now. He can't make nobody cares. Yeah. You know, Lil Wayne made Young Money when he came out of Young Money. Drake and Nicki Minaj, right? Yeah. Lil Wayne can't make Young Money now. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of guys do not make an empire when they're at the top. And when they're on the decline, that's when they start reaching and they start leeching. Yo, let me leech on to the next hottest thing so I can stay relevant. Instead of saying, yo, I'm at the top, I'm gonna pull y'all up and I'm gonna groom y'all. So when I'm ready to gracefully bow out, you guys are right there. And I can step away. No, they want to be in the shit forever. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying I want to retire, but it's just. But
there's nothing wrong with passing on gems, passing on knowledge.
I mean, at the end of the day, you like I said, a champion is selfish. A master creates champions, and I quietly do mentor a lot of young DJs. Do you? Yeah, quietly. You don't have to say every good deed that you do. You don't have to make it public.
That is true. That is true.
To be an international DJ, you have to have friends everywhere. You have to. If you think you're the man where you live, humble yourself. Go somewhere where nobody don't know you and test out your skills. Where you can't big up nobody because you don't know them. You can't say, yo, where the people I'm from Queens, I'm Brooklyn, and yo, them things that don't work.
Can you in Indonesia?
Go to the Caribbean. Go to go to an island that you're not from. And go play. And I've been to all of them. And it's a humbling experience, but it's also it's dope when you get it right. It's humbling when you be like, fuck, shit, I flop. You know what I mean? But then it's liberating to know, like, damn, I know what to do, and you do it, you execute, and you mash up the place. And then you kind of learn the algorithm. You learn the algorithm, right? And when you learn the algorithm, you start to innovate, an experience that people now start to emulate, right? There's innovators and there's emulators. You know, I'm an innovator. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because, you know, again, from martial arts, right? You never do your best move in the beginning.
No.
You save it. You know what I mean? So while people are emulating my basics, nobody don't know my advanced moves because they're just there. You know what I mean? And they're very sharp and they're always
You know
there.
exactly when to bring it out.
Right. And then there's this thing about an audible, you know, where you go off of script or you got a reading a crowd. You understanding where, you know, there's a shift or just recognizing a moment. Just recognizing a moment, seeing that, yo, if I say this or I do this, I can create this moment that will take this party to this level. You gotta be fearless and commanding, you know. And you know, after a while, you get known for that. And you know, I have an identity. You know, my identity is the energy, the vibe, the music.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you know, people also know me for my versatility. You know, I pride myself on my versatility. I pride myself on, you know, being unapologetically Caribbean. And I grew up in Brooklyn and I love R&B. I love R&B. I love hip hop. I love it. But I do not want to play a hip hop event where I cannot play my Caribbean music.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Get one of them other DJs to do that. I'm not interested. I'm not taking your money. If you want to book me to play 5 minutes of Caribbean music, and then I gotta play all that other stuff. No disrespect. No disrespect. But I represent Caribbean music. I represent Caribbean people. I love hip hop music, and I do play hip hop and R&B and everything under the sun in Caribbean events.
Yeah.
I do. You know what I mean? But on the other side, if you say, yo, Kevin, we want to take you here now, you know, don't get me wrong. If they, you know, if y'all talking that talk, you know, but you know, to a regular gig where it's just like, yo, we want you with the club, and you know, but you know, don't play too much of that shit. You know, I pride myself on my versatility. I pride myself on, you know, being unapologetically Caribbean.
Today's a holiday. I don't know what the money say. I'm not going to work today. Today's a holiday.
The Kevin Crown Miami Experience. The Kevin Crown Miami